Hey, welcome to GZ Sports People. I'm here. I'm your host, Fry, and we're back with Jackson Bryan. Welcome, Jackson.
Yes, Fry, vamos, my friend.
Vamos, vamos. Yeah, so I was just telling you how the weather has really been really nice the past day or two, the temperature has really been pleasant enough to where I can go outside and not freeze my toes off. How about Jamaica? What's going on over there?
Pleasant, brother. Tell us something. Wall away in a jacket. Believe that. Like it's. I think what the lowest my phone caught the temperatures was like 22, and that was like last week. For some reason, the place just get cold for no reason at all, and then it just get hot today.
Even in the days, even in when the sun out and thing, it still
Sun,
feel
brother. We're lucky to see the sun. The sun never exists. It was
uh,
rain and overcast and just low temperatures.
that sound very depressing. That sound like
Yeah.
days I have here. Well, it will pass. Hopefully, you get back some sun, cause man, I tell you, rough, rough man, cool, rough. Someone get it, feel the pain. Uh, the first thing we're gonna talk about the Football Association, World Football Association decided they're going to add something new or try to add something new. Blues. They're going to add blue cards to the referee system and it
Mhm.
is caused quite a stir. I understand it because it no make sense to me, but you know they're trying to make or pave a way for a new system that would probably remove certain issues from the football. Um, well, I want to hear what you think about the blue cards and how it will impact the game.
I don't like the idea at all because all right. See this for example. See this for example, right? A blue card technically is supposed to be the gap between yellow and red, right? So if you get a yellow card, you're fine. If you get a blue card, you're sent off for 10 minutes into like a sin bin. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's like a thing in rugby where you go after bad, you perform too rough. Or in hockey, like, it's a power play, them send you off for 2 minutes, then you come back. But yeah, and then you're back on the pitch. So basically, you can do three yellow card tackles before you get sent off now because of the blue card system. Now, obviously, I don't like it because I heard somebody speaking the other day saying the way the referees work nowadays, they make it hard for us, they make it confusing for us to know what a yellow card and a red card is. So now you're bringing a blue card. How we gonna know what a blue card is and not a red? Like if you 2 foot somebody, is that a blue 10 minutes off or like we won't know and it's not the best thing for the refs right now either
Yeah,
because
I agree. I just want to interject that it will add for sure more confusion, more ways to have errors, because there's just so much going on, so much information to add. Yeah, you can continue.
yeah, no, but for real, because I think I don't remember who it was on YouTube. I was watching a stream and he said that his granddad, who let him fall in love with football, how it is, told him that the referee is good when you don't know his name, and I'm like, we know literally every referee's name nowadays. Like that's not good at all. It's not good at all. But blue, boy, listen, I couldn't. If they put in blue cards, I don't think there's anything that much that we can do. Like the players would have to be the ones to take the stand on it. Um, but can you imagine a man running clean through on goal? Um, he's tackled. It's no longer a red. It's a blue. He gets 10 minutes off. The team now they play with 10 men, but in 10 minutes they're good. He comes back on. He scores the winner when we know he should have been sent off. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrific.
Yeah, I also want to add that it could also be said that you know, there might be positives, because look here, if let's say Manchester United, for example, Casemiro and Dallo has received yellow cards for the sin that would really understand, you get me, and it never seemed sensible to us. It would probably eliminate issues like that by having another card to kind of in between a yellow card to help balance out issues that may occur in football pitch. So I think it could have some benefits in some instances where attacker might be in between what could be say a yellow and a red because Casemiro has lost multiple game time outside of injury because of suspension, and other players, not only Manchester United, and the Manchester United fans say, that's what the mother used examples, but other players, other teams have suffered because of bad calls or excessive punishment from referees. So having an intermediate card between what we already know might kind of improve the situations as regards to that. So I'd like to add just that it could say that as well. Kind of crazy to think about that they actually want to try this, but
Mm,
it is what it is. It is
yeah,
what it.
yeah. I mean, they can try. They can try it. Look, it's a bad idea, but they could try it here in Jamaica, right? And we know, why it's a bad idea
In
because
Jamaica,
if a blue card come out is a problem, bro. So like, it's the best place to start in a lower league, perfect it, and then move up the chain. But we know
yeah,
how our people are, right? And that's the main problem. But it would be good to start here, start probably in the National League in Spain's third or fourth division, just to actually perfect the idea before you do, implement it on a worldwide stage.
yeah. I just can't wait until they introduce the Uno reverse card. So when a ref gives you a card, you just pull out the Uno reverse or the draw four, and it's done. It's done. Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
Clean.
How's draw four gonna work?
Um, Well, if he gives you the yellow card and you give him draw four, then the ref has to give out four red cards to the other team. So it's like it made the thing more spicy, Like if you get a yellow card and give him a draw two, him have to give two yellow card to another opponent to another, yeah, and then them have to either them have a owner. So it had turned to like basically owner, So that's some
Yeah, we have
nonsense
to-
there. Yeah, yeah, that's some nonsense. Let's move on
yeah,
because I chat a lot of shit sometimes. I'm sorry. Crap. Anyways, uh, Klinsmann,
uh,
Klinsmann the G, South Korean manager. I didn't know he was a South Korean manager, which is kind of crazy. But he says Son is the best striker. Human Son is the best striker in the world, and
mm,
he's going to win the World Cup in America, which is quite a big statement. Obviously, he's biased because he's managing South Korea, but
yeah.
it has caused a bit of uproar, and I want to hear what you have to say about it, man, because that's kind of some big words from the big man.
Listen, you see, Klinsmann can talk because he's won the World Cup. He was on that German team. Fantastic striker in his day. Then he went to Tottenham, and then he just suddenly retired. Anyway, look, Klinsmann as a coach, I cannot say he's been a success because he did fail with America. He's kind of failing with South Korea right now, and after he said Son is the best striker in the world. I would say no, purely because he's not a striker any at all. But to each his own. And then they're gonna win the World Cup in America. I'm like, hang on a minute, hang on, hang on. Who's he talking to about winning the World Cup? Because how do you know you're going to qualify? Just because you guys have probably the best team in the Asian continent doesn't mean anything. I mean, you got knocked out by Jordan, but you got other teams there that are more competent and can beat you. The Germanys, even though they're hit and miss, England, um, Italy, Portugal. I have a wonderful squad. France. So look, Klinsmann has to talk the talk, right? I can't tell you I know much about the South Korea team. I know Son, I know Kang In Lee, and I know their striker. I don't want to get his name wrong because they do all have the same name to some extent. I think he
Racist,
was
cancelled,
23.
cancelled. You're done. You're done.
Bro, there were 8 of them with the same name in the starting 11. I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm just going to say their 23-year-old striker was at the World Cup. Apparently, he was a model before he was a footballer. Don't ask me how that correlates. Um, but they have some decent players that can make a difference. It's just, and they have Kim Min-jae in the defense. So it's just up to them to keep carry it out. I mean, look, if South Korea win the World Cup, that's it. There is no excuse for Jamaica not to win it again. There's no excuse. But it's big
Yeah.
talk. So,
Um, but what about Son being the best striker in the world? Like, what do you think about that? Where do you think him rank? Or where you feel? Obviously, you're not a Son fan. Uh,
no, no,
so where you
I'm
feel?
listen. Firstly, strikers because I don't feel he is a striker. He's a winger. He's always been a winger. And if I'm to rank him, I mean, you have Vinicius here. You have, I mean, I don't count Mbappe as a winger. I count him as a striker. So it's Vinicius here, and then it gets a bit interesting. You have, I would say, Rodrigo is there as well. But Son, I always looked at Son and wondered how is he not, or why was he never looked at by Real Madrid when Ronaldo left? I thought he would have been the perfect replacement for Cristiano. But look, he's a top five winger in the world. Let's be honest. You can put Salah in that conversation if you want to use both flanks. But Son is definitely top five. As a striker, if I'm to base him off that ability, obviously we know Pochettino played him as a number nine sometimes. So did Conte. The lad can finish. Let's be honest, he can finish, right? He can shoot. He's very fast for his size. He's very strong. I couldn't put him top five. I couldn't put him top five because I mean, it's very difficult to put him as a top five striker, but he is definitely a top five winger, probably top 20 player in the world.
Yeah. Um. mm, yeah, I agree. I agree. I would also add that in the Premier League, uh, compared to every other striker in the Premier League, I think he is the best. Uh, bang for your buck is like the term I want to use. Like most reasonable striker, I think there is. If you compare to the likes in comparison to wages, the wages that a certain Marcus
Mm.
Rashford is getting, the wages that a Haaland is getting, the wages that Son is getting, you compare them for players in the Premier League, he's substantially less, and he is of high standard. If you compare him to Salah, his wages is substantially less. He's at a smaller club, quote unquote. Tottenham haven't won anything, but if a big team gets Son deserves a big contract. So I think as you said, he's someone within the best in the world as relates to strikers or forwards. Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
it's quite some big words from Klinsmann, and he's worked with some of the best strikers out there. You know,
He's been
uh,
one of the best strikers out there.
exactly,
1990 man was
exactly.
a demon, man.
Yeah, back when Carl was watching football at 1990. I mean, Jackson.
We thought the bro wasn't even born in that century.
Yeah. So let's move on. We'll move on to the topic of the day.
Oh my god.
The man himself. You're already smiling because you know who I'm about to say. It's Whisper. Whisper, the man himself. He got his Chelsea debut, which is great. Round of applause. Finally, he's a fully fledged Chelsea player. He got onto the pitch, played some football. He didn't start. Uh,
Not clapping it.
Yeah, he hasn't flopped completely. So I want to hear what you have to say. Everybody knows that I love Whisper, so I'm not going to say too much. But you can tell me what you think about the. Just tell me what you think about the debut and if it's the right move to be playing in the under 20s. If he should actually be on loan now, is it a waste of time? Because he left schoolboy football to come play with children again. So maybe it's horrible decision. So let me hear what you have to say.
No, I mean, all right. Look, it seems that way face value, but those children, let me tell you, I got this from a Chelsea scout, and they said that it's not the first time Whisper was there because he was with the Phoenix Academy and they played against Chelsea's under 18s. And I think he said the Chelsea under 18s beat Phoenix Academy like 7-0 or something. So it's not regular children you're playing up against, right? He is technically making a step up in football. I saw his 23 minutes. I wanted to watch the game, but there was no live stream on that one. The under 21, I just completely forgot. But he looked good. He breezed past the defender. As I said, he's best off the wing, not as a centre forward. We saw the technique and the pace that he had. Um, he looks good for his level now. Obviously, he's not the top guy in on the 18s. That's down to Jimmy J. Morgan, who they took back from Southampton. Um, but it's good for him to get minutes. Training at Coventry doesn't play at Stamford Bridge, but hopefully he does get a chance this season at the location. Maybe he can play more PL to actually get into the groove of English football, and then he can blossom. You know. As for a loan move, well, the window's kind of shut in Turkey as well. So once the Turkish window's closed, every window's closed. Um, so he's gonna have to stay there until at least the end of the season. But it's good that he's gotten some minutes for now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Uh, Whisper is doing okay. You know, it's not really much to brag about, not really much to comment about, but we're commenting about it because we're Jamaican. He's Jamaican. He's a young baller. But yeah, he got some game time. Yeah, was okay, pretty nice. But ma tell you, if him score, man, I'm gonna fling on my laptop. Just know that. But for now, I'm keeping it cool, keeping it calm, and we can move on to the next topic. Or we can even go for a slight break. Wink, 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 wink. I'm checking if the production team would want to go on a break. Wink, wink, wink. I guess the production team does want to go on a break. All right, so yeah,
Okay,
so we're gonna
bro,
go on
calm down, man.
a quick break, and we're gonna get back to you. Yeah.
Hey guys, so we're back after a quick break. We're just waiting on Friday to get back. But just before we do so, again, want to thank you guys for all your support. You can always keep a like and subscribe, share the video if you like it, like listening to these idiots talk sometimes, and help grow the channel. We do appreciate you guys for everything you guys do. I know that sometimes we can seem a bit off, especially in certain topics. You can see some biases, not really, not calling any names. But we do our best and we try to bring as much news and discuss the topics as best as we can, to our knowledge and to as little bias as possible.
I'm back. I'm back.
So like,
Sorry for the long break. I had to go to the lavatory is the word they use. Crazy word in it. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go straight into the track and field review. Track and field champs. Let's see what's going on. I have no idea what's going on in champs, so I'm gonna let it seems my co-host has dropped into a deep pit with no Wi-Fi. Oh, he's back. All right, he's back, thankfully.
What
All
the
right,
hell?
so we're
Bro,
here. We're
what?
talking about champs and the Gibson relay. I don't know. What you think about the champs going on, man? Like, tell me what's up. Tell me what's up with the champs.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen much of it. I've watched a couple races because I do know a few of the athletes that are in high school, obviously. Um, some 400 runners. Um, Gibson is the next big thing that's coming up, right? That's what some people usually use to gauge what champs will be about. You can't really use the individual events because they they're separated. The big guys, the big guns won't come up against each other yet. At Gibson, that's when you know you're back in the thick of the matter. It's time for it. Um, what can I say? I'm biased. I support Calabar when it comes to things like this. Um, Jamaica College have a good program, but they're currently going through some things with this about registration of some athletes. So they have some question marks. Kingston College are always there, but their team looks woefully underprepared compared to previous years. And look, Calabar, well, I mean, they've got the next Christopher Taylor apparently. Guy broke Taylor's
Mm.
record in class two. I'm like, that's not a human record because Taylor did kind of jog that race. He probably sprinted it, but you know, um, there's a new record there, and it's looking it's looking like it could be exciting. And look, we don't just talk about the boys section. We do have the girls side as well. Heidel, the
Can I interject a little bit? Yeah. Sorry to cut you, but I didn't know Christopher Taylor is banned. He's banned from track and field due to some um drug-ish. I don't know if it's drugs. So I'm not going to use that harsh word, but I'm saying some drug-ish charges. But yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
yeah.
We were talking about Heidel.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but Taylor, it was just about missing drug tests apparently. So just didn't do the piss test anyway. Yeah, Heidel on the girls' side who won it last year. Dr. Small's first season, their first ever champs win. Can they repeat? I mean, the team yet last season was stacked. Will it be the same? Do they have enough to compete again? We have no idea. Edwin Allen, they're always there. They always have like 50, 60 girls for every event just ready to go out. Um, Even our sister school, Ulma's girls, they have a decent team out there, and they might actually provide some upsets
Hmm.
this year. But right now, I'll stick with it until after Gibson Relay. I might change my decision, but Calabar and Heidel to win champs this year.
Okay, that's yeah. Champs, very champion-esque. I don't know what that meant.
We need
um,
better
let,
analysis.
yeah. Richarlison. Whoa, I forgot about this. Richarlison is on farm. I didn't, and it's kind of crazy to think about because he has been garbage for years now. It feels like years, but he has a run of form. And I read somewhere, it's probably live, but I know the post live all the while. I read somewhere that he has scored the most goals out of any Premier League player since January. So it's kind of crazy to think about that Richarlison is in such form under Angst, Postecoglou, so kind of
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if it's the most goals. Sorry. Oof. But he has been scoring a lot of goals since the turn of the year. Look, Richarlison was a meme. Richarlison, he was basically a meme. He started scoring. Now he can't stop. I mean, look, today was an exception where he was involved in the build up that led Tottenham to their 96-minute winner against Brighton today. He's We're seeing that Brazil form, right? Richarlison normally only plays well in a yellow shirt, and we're seeing that Brazil form for Tottenham. It's good when you can translate it and keep the consistency like that. He can be a top player. All I'm worrying about is why is he getting into form, bro? Copa America is later this year, bro. Jamaica are there. I do not want to get out of the group and play Brazil. I don't want to do it, bro. Vinicius, Richarlison, Rodrigo, João Pedro, Hendrick, Vitor Roque. I am throwing in the towel, bro. Bruno Guimaraes, no, no. Against who? Damian Lowe. You must say, but
One Damian Lowe, one Damian. Remember, Damian Lowe is prime, Rodri, prime Busquets, prime Casemiro, all in one. Don't forget that.
yeah,
The last match we see with Damian Lowe, he was prime Modric. Don't you forget that, man. Have
that
faith
was
in
one
Damian Lowe.
game, though. We can't expect him to do it against Guimaraes, Casemiro, and Paqueta.
Okay, I get it. But lightning does strike twice sometimes, not only in dreams, and it will happen again. You will see Damian Lowe, prime Busquets, Damian Lowe, Modric, Damian Lowe, once more. But I agree. Brazil will destroy Jamaica. In most scenarios. Yeah. So, but I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I love to see um Brazil tear up a Jamaican side, just because I like pain. I'm a masochist. I think that's what that one is. Masochist, sadistic. I always get it mixed up, but I'm the one that. That's a joke, by the way. I'm not serious. Yeah. I don't know how I got on this tangent. Let's move on. Let's. Yeah. Uh,
Mhm.
so we can go straight into. I'm looking at the itinerary right now. We can move straight into Savage's program. Obviously, Savages isn't here. Unfortunately, he got shot by M16, but he's recovering, so he'll be just fine in a
Bro,
couple
can
of
you
weeks.
stop? Can you stop? God.
Um, and yeah, so our fellow co-host right here, Jackson, will take over for his section, and we can just get right into it. Yes, Jackson, take it away, man.
Bro, I'm never going to let you just go off on your own like that. Never again. But guys, welcome to the what's he call it? The GZ Sports Transfer Roundup, the Savage Slaughterhouse. Again, he said Savage isn't here. He was not shot. Don't believe any of those things. He was not shot. Right? There haven't been many gun violences in
In
Jamaica.
GTA, of course, not in real life. I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Bro, GTA, whatever, whatever. But we'll get right into it. I'm trying to pick up where he what he left off with, and he wanted to touch in a bit about the youth players at Manchester United. You know, Alejandro Garnacho. Look, we all saw that picture: Garnacho, Menu, and Rasmus Højlund, just sitting there like the new Trinity. Um, Basically, we're saying Man United, these youngsters, are they gonna be the light in the darkness right now? Are they gonna be the ones to drag United out of this hellhole that they're in? And it's a big ask, you know. The class of '92 did it, but can the class of 2023 do it? Right? Can they drag United to being themselves? I mean, look, last week I said it. There's no midfielder in the world that's better than Kobe Manu. Now Jude Bellingham heard that and decided to score today. Um, but yeah,
Jude.
it's a very good
You can't see,
midfielder. We
but
haven't
I'm
had
doing the Jude Bellingham celebration. You can't see. Let's see if I can fix it.
Belly
Yeah, you can
goal.
see. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, um, this light in the darkness, does this spell of good times going forward for Man United? You know, they have experienced players, but they're not really that good apart from Varane and Casemiro. Martinez is good as well, but then it's just down to youngsters. Can these youngsters drag it? The season is basically over. They'll fight for top four, they'll fight for the FA Cup. But this season is basically over right now. Is it best to nurture them and next season we just go at it? But what are your thoughts on the young players that are at United right now? You know, and anyone from the youth team that you think can break it as well.
To be honest, it's a miracle they break through the young players, because there hasn't really been anyone who has stepped up since Rashford, and Rashford, since he stepped down, the club has been in a kind of a rut. So it's good to see that the young players have decided to take the club by the handle and pull it to where it needs to be. Hopefully, they don't get run into the ground, because we've seen that under a manager like Solskjaer, where when Rashford was in form with him, he was run into nothing, and it impacted him for years after that. So I want them to be nurtured. That's the word I'll use, nurture, like a little baby calf that you're going to nurture until it becomes big and you eat it. So it's important that you you give the players love and the time they need to grow, and don't kill them before they're ready, because the meat needs to be mature at a certain age. So it's important.
Uh,
Yeah,
something.
I don't know what I'm going with this, but you feel, you have an understanding of what I'm trying to say. So,
Yeah, no,
so I think I'll leave it at that.
I know what you mean, but it's something with you and Sav and this supermarket grocery type analogy. What's with you guys on food, man? God damn it, man. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You can't do like what happened to Michael Owen at Liverpool. He was 16 and scoring a lot of goals, and they played him every game until he's 26, and he was basically on the verge of retirement. I get it. Can't have Garnacho going into the ground yet. Too soon. He's got to be the Cristiano Ronaldo region. Kobe Manu, he's Paul Scholes region. Maybe there are more to break through. I like Sam Murray. I haven't seen him in a while because they should have played today, but Southampton have a waterlogged field, so the under 21s couldn't play. But there are some other good ones that can really break through.
Before we continue, Sancho is also a very young player. Do you
I mean,
think there is any chance of him rekindling the relationship with the manager, since he has a little run of form in the Bundesliga? Because he's also a
never,
young player. Never.
never,
He's done.
never, bro. I
Okay.
saw a stat yesterday and I can't believe it. I'll say it and then move on. Sancho played 2 minutes yesterday and missed three big chances. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happens, but that's great, Sancho. For you, people love him. I always thought he was overrated. Let's be honest. But we'll move to the next topic immediately, and to a player that can be considered overrated, but he backs it up a lot. Nowadays, Phil Foden scored a hat trick against Brentford. It was in the week. Um,
Brilliant.
Without Ivan Toney and Ethan Pinnock could have held out. Mark Flecken was doing his absolute best. I mean, first goalkeeper with an
Brilliant.
assist. He put on a magnificent performance. And look, I doubted him at the start of the season. He won the Bundesliga clean sheet award last year with, I think it was Mönchengladbach, but I didn't think, based on what I saw of him, he was a Premier League keeper, and he's just proven that wrong now. So big ups to Flecken. Um, Phil Foden, at one point in his Man City career, Pep Guardiola said he had more talent than Messi. Then he was just on the bench. I don't see the correlation, but Foden
I
scored.
see the correlation. I see the correlation. He's English. He's
But Messi's
English.
not
And
English.
Pep has an agenda to destroy English talent. In GTA, of course, not in real life, but in GTA. But yes, you said you didn't see, so I had to inform you. But you can go ahead. You're saying that Pep
Man.
was comparing Foden to Messi. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
So I was. You never leaving. I lost my train of thought now.
All right. So Pep
Boy.
was being
No,
compared
I
to.
got it back. I got it back. I got it
Okay.
back.
All right.
Yeah. So Foden scored hat tricks. De Bruyne is back. Haaland scoring today. I mean, does Man City just chase down Liverpool, win the title, make it four in a row, or is there a chance that City don't shower this country in blue anymore?
Uh, I really don't think there is. Kevin being fit is, I think, the nail in the coffin for the other clubs. The Liverpools, just the Liverpools who can really put up a fight against City. So I think if someone would to go out and sprain Kevin's ankle, then we would have a chance at, at someone else raising the trophy. But if Kevin is fit and the team is running like the well-oiled machine that it is, then City will run away with it. Foden has been brilliant. He's always been brilliant, and it shows that if given the chance, he can produce brilliant performances in a squad with a lot of brilliant players because he's not the only star on that team. So it's important to note that as well. Uh, Man, Brentford did put up a fight, but I really hoped Brentford could have pulled out that brilliant result that what we said last time. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, I still believe in Pinnock. One Pinnock, Jamaican beast, uh,
Yeah.
and I still have hope in Brentford that they'll go far.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Like it's just because Ivan Toney's back, we all thought it would have happened. Hat trick at the Etihad, but it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. What did happen or will happen is the Africa Cup of Nations final, AFCON final. Um, what was it? Was it on Wednesday? It was Wednesday. Me and a group of friends were watching the Nigeria I think it was Nigeria against South Africa game. The cable was going off. It's been a problem for a couple of weeks now, and it was 1-0. We left it at 1-0. Um, the cable tripped. We went online, saw that it was 2-0. Osimhen scored. We said, okay, the game's over. Then we just checked and said, what was the final score? 2-0. No, it was 1-1 and in extra time. I was like, what the hell? It had to go to penalties, isn't it? It's Africa. It has to go to penalties. Um, and Nigeria prevailed. And in the second game, Sebastian Haller fired Ivory Coast to the final. So it's Cote d'Ivoire versus um
Nigeria.
Nigeria. It's Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian prince, versus, well, he's not playing, but Didier Drogba for Ivory Coast. Um, how do you see this one going? Two
Ah,
powerhouses meeting tomorrow. The third place game is going on right now, actually, between what's in it, South Africa and the Republic of Congo. Let's see if I can find that result now. But how do you see that
it
the
is. It
final
is.
going?
It's Afcon, man. Like it is the hardest thing to predict, hardest thing to really put down to a science who you think is going to go through. It's so unpredictable, and that's what makes it beautiful. I love the fact that Nigeria made it to the Afcon final because they needed it. They really needed it after their um, poo poo stinky World Cup performance, qualifying performance. So it's good that they made it to the Afcon final. So my vote is for Nigeria, of course, because they speak English. I don't know if Ivory Coast. No, they don't speak English over there. So yeah,
Different.
but that's really it. Uh, yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with going with Nigeria. Currently the Congo game against South Africa, it's currently 0-0 in the 59th minute. So keep an eye on that in case a goal does score today. Um, it's just always entertaining to watch Afcon. It's like watching prep school football. I'm not disrespecting the level of football, but it has that same excitement. You don't expect certain things and you see it. It's just brilliant. It's just wonderful.
Yes, they witness things like seeing the ref beat up a man on the pitch, and it just makes you feel good, because the nonsense it brings a level of entertainment that isn't in uh, European football. European football at times is very like rigid. It's very pressuring, but you see things in Afcon that it makes you laugh. Makes you put a smile on your face just based on the sheer nonsense and vibe of the matches. I also want to add that Afcon fans are some of the craziest. I've seen some of the most brilliant costumes. I've seen basically naked, fat, bald men with face paint, and it looks quite exquisite. Uh, and it's quite nice. The fans are quite nice in Afghan. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
wanted to add
the
that.
fans are great. It's how it is. It's how it's supposed to be. It's how it's supposed to be. Like in Turkey or in Spain. Well, let's not use Spain as an example. But like in Turkey, for the football league, that's how the fans are. They're very in tune with their team. They're
Mm,
always there, no matter how bad it is, and
mm.
it's just fun to watch. I mean, the final is gonna be fun. It's gonna be great to watch. I
Yeah,
mean, look, for all of us, hopefully Nigeria win, because if Ivory Coast win, I mean, Twitter is gonna be a very quiet place tomorrow. It's gonna be a very quiet place, man.
for sure.
Um, but talking about European football, as you said, a certain player that you are fond of, Leon Bailey, has agreed a new contract with Aston Villa. I think it goes up until 2029 now, his new extension, if I'm not mistaken. Pay rise, everything. He is a villain for life now, it seems. Um, he's been electric, 7 goals, 6 assists so far this season. Contract deserved for Leon Bailey?
Of course, without a doubt in my mind, Liam Bailey deserved that contract. And to be honest, I think no, he's not the star because there's a Emmy Martinez in goal, but he's one of the best at the club and performing. He's one of the most influential. There's a certain John McGinn there, but he is still an impactful player on the team, and it's good that the managers and whoever is there giving out the contracts is sensible enough to reward him for his tenure at the club so far. So it's quite astounding. And I hope Liam Bailey comes and gives me some of that money because I'm always endorsing him. But that would happen. Obviously, that's a joke. I don't want any money from. Yeah, I just have to preface that. Yeah, in GTA, in GTA. Let's. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Good news.
Yeah, I mean, it is good news. And just a final topic, because I wanted to bring this into the show. Um, as an England fan, this is what it's about. Um, Ross Barkley. Everybody's been talking about how good Ross Barkley is. He's in the form of his life, and there are people even saying he should be in the Euro squad. Now, the thing with that is, I'm not an England fan, so I don't see it the same way you do. I see it more of a realist. But Rice, Bellingham, Ward-Prowse, Henderson, Phillips, they're all ahead
There is
of Ross
no
Barkley.
way.
Who would drop out to include Ross Barkley, or even young Kobe Mano, who's starting it up at United?
I don't think there's any way Ross Barkley makes it into Southgate squad. Southgate, he
Wow, the
is
problem.
very he's known for having favorites, and whether Ross Barkley could have been the best performer in the Premier League, but it wouldn't matter because he has his favorites on the side he wants to play and the type of football he wants to play. So Southgate would not drop any of those brilliant midfielders for Ross Barkley based off form because we've seen him do the complete opposite, which is choose players he likes despite of form. So obviously form is not a factor in him choosing players. And I don't think Ross Barkley really knocks out any of those players that you call in relation to being in the squad based off form because he does play the type of football playing at Luton is I think suits Ross Bartley's game, and I think the type of football Gareth Southgate plays it's a lot more different, in obviously in a worse way, but it's I don't think Ross Barkley makes it into the squad despite his brilliant form, so that's what I would think. Well, how about you?
Well, as I said, out of those five, I know he's not dropping anybody. Um, Look, Phillips can't get into the West Ham team, but he'll be selected over Ward-Prowse, who starts every week. Doesn't
Crazy,
make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
unbelievable.
What about Kobe Mano?
Uh, it's the same. I believe it's the complete same argument with for Kobe Mano with Ross Barkley. There's a level of favoritism that is needed to make it into the England squad, just because of the sheer number of talent and favoritism that Gareth Southgate has for his players. So it's not just talent and form and skill, but also you have to be kissing his boots. I don't know what Harry Maguire did, but he did something else and it worked, and he's he's still in the team. So he has to maybe he can give Kobe Menu the formula and he'll get into the team. But other than that, Kobe Minu, I think he deserves a chance, but along with a lot of other players that deserve chances that didn't get. So I don't think he stands a chance right now getting into the England squad.
Mm. I mean, good point. It's best to ask an England fan about this anyway. Um, can't really, as a non-English supporter. I mean, I'm in the Western Hemisphere completely. Jamaica, Brazil, don't really care that much about England. I mean, look, if I'm gonna pick for the Euros, which I'm gonna ask you, do you think you guys can win the Euros? Because I think it's either France or Portugal. England have a great chance, but Southgate's still the manager.
um, to win the Euros, I don't think I don't think England can win the Euros. I think we have a great chance, but comparing to the teams out there, the France, the I'm going to say the Belgium, despite Belgium not winning anything, the sheer quality on that Belgium team, and the other teams out there, I don't think we're the favorites to win it. I do think we're going to put up a fight as usual, but I don't expect if England wins anything, I'll be shocked. My mind will be blown, and I'll probably commit a very devious act in joy. But I really don't have any hope that England will win the Euros. To be honest,
Mm.
I guess I'm a realist, just like you in that sense. You know.
Yep. Well, realism is best. You don't want to be delusional like some other fans. Because we know, look, he might stay until the World Cup, Southgate. So we'll watch and see if England win the Euros, then one of Bellingham or Kane are going to win the Ballon d'Or. It's as simple as that. But that's where we do have to wrap up. Again, thanks you guys for watching the show as per usual. Um, Jackson Bryan with Fry here as well. We will be back next week, with all things willing. Fry bought a new camera, so he might be looking a bit different. Um, uh, Sav might be here next week as well, considering things are going on with him right now. Um, Anything you'd like to add before we do go?
Eat your vegetables and drink a lot of water. Yes.
Eat veggies and drink a lot of water. You heard it there. Um, we're closing the show, but I just had to bring this stat in. Um,
Yeah.
Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge of Manchester United for 27 years, but they only lost at Old Trafford 34 times in
That
27
is
years.
crazy. Crazy stats. Crazy. Unbelievable. What a man.
Man,
What a manager. What a player.
what
What
a
a
manager.
coach.
He was fantastic, man. But enough Fergie talk. We'll see you guys next week. We have things to do in regards to sport. The Super Bowl is tomorrow, so obviously we'll be watching that. Fry is a bit new to the sport, so I won't ask him for his predictions yet, but we'll be watching that as well. Until
Go
then,
Chiefs.
we'll what?
Go Chiefs.
You pick. Oh, you're gonna have haters for that. We'll see you guys next week, though. Thanks for watching and goodbye.